Nobody likes ticks. They carry diseases, they suck your blood, and they're just plain gross. But they're not the first thing you think of when it comes to a monster movie. Well, maybe Ticks from 1993 will change all that. The movie has some pretty familiar names in it. Clint Howard, Seth Green, and Alfonso Ribeiro, right in the heyday of Fresh Prince. Ticks follows several teens who have had a difficult past. There's Tyler, Melissa, Daryl, or Panic as they call him, Dee Dee, Rome, and Kelly. They're all being forced to go on a wilderness retreat led by Holly and Charles. Charles is Melissa's father, and Holly is, well, let's just say close to Charles as well. She's banging him. They all head deep into a cabin in the woods where they meet two weirdos, Jerry and Sir. They warn the group about how this area has a big problem with people growing pot out here, and that they better just stay out of it. I'll spoil it for you. Jerry and Sir are one of the groups growing pot. Jarvis Tanner is also growing pot, and he's what starts this whole mess. He's using a steroid to help the marijuana grow bigger, but this also has effects on the local tick population. One of them hatches and eventually gets under Jarvis's skin, literally. He uses his gun to shoot it off. Not the best idea, but I guess if you have nothing else and you don't want your leg anymore, sure. Back at the cabin, Daryl's dog gets attacked by a tick. I hate to say it, but yeah, the dog dies in this movie. Daryl takes it pretty hard in an emotional scene and decides to run away, back to LA. Tyler and Charles take the dog into town to see a vet. During the examination, the doctor finds a huge tick inside the dog. They try to catch it, and eventually the doctor steps on it, and we get the best one-liner in the film.
When in doubt, squish.
Now the doctor can examine the tick. Some pretty good special effects here. The tick looks bloody and gross. The doctor informs them that not only are these ticks huge, but when they bite you, you'll have an LSD trip. Meanwhile, Kelly and Melissa go fishing and the line gets snagged, so Melissa has to go free it. And out pops a dead body. I have to admit, I was thinking it was a tick, not a human body. It turns out this is the sheriff, and he was actually shot and killed by Jerry and Sir. Dee Dee and Rome are out doing their own thing, and Dee Dee stumbles upon Jarvis's pot farm. But Jarvis is a bit worse for wear. He's begging Dee Dee to kill him, but a tick bursts out from his face and latches onto Dee Dee. Daryl is still out in the woods, and a tick bites him. He rips it off and starts having hallucinations. He sees Jerry and Sir beating him up, and in real life they're beating him up. They think he just wants pot from their farm, but really he just wants to get out of there. They don't believe him, so they're gonna kill him, but Daryl stabs Jerry and makes his escape.
Come on! Come on!
They fight for a little bit, but eventually Daryl gets away, so Sir shoots him. He misses the first shot and instead hits some flammable steroids, but he gets him on the second one. Man, Daryl really should have just stayed with the group. So now a fire has started and all the ticks are running away from it. Where are they running to? Right to the cabin where everyone is. Things get worse when Jerry and Sir, covered in ticks, get into the cabin. Then, a barely alive Daryl makes it back to the group. In his last dying breath, Daryl tells everyone that they shot him and left him for dead. So the pot growers threaten the group and they quickly lose control of the situation. They fight back and forth, Charles gets shot, but eventually Sir gets a hold of the keys to the van and makes Jerry go get it. He almost makes it, but in the driver's seat he is bitten and starts having hallucinations. This time he sees the sheriff that he killed and decides to just plow right into him. Now there's a big hole in the cabin, and all the ticks are flooding in. On top of that, a mega tick is coming out of Daryl. This thing finally kills Sir and starts to attack the rest of the group. Tyler ends up swinging from a tire swing, and although it breaks, he makes it to the van. Everyone starts to load up, but Rome is attacked by the mega tick. He can't fight it off by himself, so Tyler goes in for the rescue. Everyone makes it back to the van and they speed away. The tick explodes, because why not, and the fire reaches a propane tank. I guess this movie didn't hit its explosion quota. The final scene shows the van back in LA and a tick egg falls off of it. Boy, do you think these kids have had enough? They've all had a troubled past. For example, Tyler's dad lost him in the woods, and he was out there for days by himself. I think it's pretty safe to say none of these kids are going to be going into the wilderness anytime soon. But that's Ticks from 1993, and to be honest, it's not half bad. Like I said, I like the special effects. Sometimes when there's a lot of ticks on the screen, you can tell they're just being pulled by a string. But when there's only one or two, they used an animatronic, and it's real spider-like, which a tick is closely related to. It's not a very memorable film. Nobody's out there saying that Ticks is their favorite movie of all time or anything like that. And just a little PSA, if you do have a tick on you, use tweezers to get it off. Don't squeeze the body, and don't use petroleum jelly or a match. That can just make things worse. In the end, I give Ticks from 1993 3 flammable pot steroids out of 4.
Do I look Mexican to you?
Yeah.